Hi, welcome to Hope in the Light of Suicide. I'm Tammy White. I'm the founder of the Bobby White Foundation. And as you can see, I'm here on the set all by myself, but I'm not all by myself. I have my wonderful production technician that's helping us out today. I want to thank Cage with Area 52 Media Group and John for continuing to allow us to bring this show and the information to you. So we really want to thank them. We had John on last week's show, which was a lot of fun, and it was pretty cool having him on after doing the show for a couple of years. And also want to thank our sponsor, DeLynn Gaston, with the mortgage firm. She is really super awesome with mortgages, anything, any questions, anything. If you're going to be a first-time home buyer and maybe not too sure how your credit is or how things work out, she can walk you through every step of the way. She really knows her stuff. So we want to thank her for her support too. So as we have been mentioning the last few weeks, we have a fundraiser coming up, Art for Hope, which is our major fundraiser for the foundation. So it is September 7th at the Hilton Garden Inn. It's out at the Suncoast and 54 in Pasco County. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. And the proceeds for this fundraiser majorly goes to help fund our Purple Folder program, which going down to the printer this week to pick up. We're in our third printing. So almost every year and a half, we come out with new ones so that we can update information, because now the last several years since we started the Purple Folder program, more programs have become available for suicide loss survivors. And so we want to keep the information fresh, and plus we've been able to add information for this show in the folder. So primarily at first the folder was for Pasco County, but we have sent these folders all across the country. So if you know somebody that might benefit just from a bunch of information that it basically is what we wish we had when we lost Bobby, but I can also tailor it a little bit to your area and help find local resources for everyone. Like I said, we've sent them all the way out to Washington State, in the Northeast, to Texas, and there's a lot of information, and it's mostly so that when somebody suffers a loss like this, they really don't know what to do or where to go, and maybe they're not ready to even find information. But when they are, at least they have something physical in their hand and can help guide. Because we also include local local here, but national information that is good, all across the country. And also the fundraiser helps support a new program that we're starting, and I guess the name is kind of sticking now. It's going to be our Hope Scholarship. And the idea for the Hope Scholarship is to help loss survivors, kind of even with just like basic needs, because when when you're going through something like this, you don't know what to do, and you don't feel like doing anything, and just to go out and get your hair washed and cut. Maybe go to a chiropractor. I must get a massage. We have partnered with some organizations here in our community so that we can help offset those costs, either get them at little bit reduced rates, help pay for them, or pay for them for the survivors, just to help them feel a little bit better and help out with things. I know that when I lost Bobby, I had a lot of support, but it wasn't until like 3 months later on the 4th of July when I broke my leg, and then all bets were off. I couldn't do anything. And even my neighbor, she paid to have a cleaning lady come over and clean my house because I couldn't do it. But so we want to help with things like that. We even have a handyman and a handy woman, to help do some yard work, and that I had help with that also. So we really want to be able to give more help to these lost survivors. In the past, we have. And it was before we actually started this program, but that's kind of what led to this program, is we had a family who they lost their teenage daughter, and they couldn't go back to their home. So we worked with them to help find new housing, and we found furniture that was donated to the family, and we worked with one of our local moving companies and paid to have the furniture moved from one location to their new location. And with all this going on, they couldn't afford an urn for her daughter, and the woman had another son and a daughter, and they were both teenagers also. So we purchased a custom urn for her, just something that, one less thing that, to help ease her mind a little bit while the family's transitioning through probably the hardest thing that they've ever gone through, or maybe will ever go through. But that's what the majority of what this fundraiser is for, is to help fund these programs so that we can help lost survivors. And hopefully, the more funding we get, the more programs that we can bring in. I have a couple ideas on the horizon to get training from, it's the Center of Loss in Fort Collins, for grief companioning for suicide loss survivors. So as we grow and raise a little bit more money, we can expand, our reach in the community. And these are all services that nobody provides except for our foundation in our community. So it really, really means a lot for everybody to support us. So again, the fundraiser is on September 7th from 6 to 9. We still can use some sponsors. Your sponsorship won't get you on the show, because this show will be the last show before the event, but it'll still get you on all the social media, and probably, we can work it out. We'll get you on the show after the event so that we can, again, thank all of our sponsors for our successful event. So we also have some artwork that is available for pre-sale, and if you click on the QR code that's in that first flyer, or go to the foundation website, Art for Hope, or the shop page, you'll see some artwork uploaded there that's available. And up until the date of the event, I'm still going to continue to add more artwork to that. And our social media pages, just check out all our social media pages every day to see what is coming up new. Art for Hope Facebook page, Hope in the Light of Suicide Facebook page, Bobby White Foundation Facebook page. So, and Tammy White Gallery's Facebook page. There's a lot of the artwork's coming through the gallery, and we've had a lovely couple that I've known for years. They are in the jewelry business, Joanna and Larry DeLuca, who moved back to Florida recently, and they donated a lot of artwork to this event, and some really cool pieces, so you'll really, really want to check it out. And it is a free event to attend. It doesn't cost any money to go there, except for we do want your donations or purchase artwork. There's going to be light hors d'oeuvres. Leanne's Cookies is, again, our dessert sponsor, and she is really great. And if you haven't had any of her cookies, oh man, you have to check it out. I'll get a link to her website, because she ships cookies all over the United States. Families, individuals, corporate. I've even, through the gallery, sent as a thank you to some clients some of Leanne's cookies, and they're really surprised when this really nice packaged box of cookies show up at their door. So, and we're really grateful for her. This is her second or third year that she's been the dessert sponsor. And of course, we'll have a cash bar. Also, we're going to have gift basket raffles. We always end up with some awesome gift baskets. What else? JR World Travel, they donate every year a lottery board. It's like 2 boards full of lottery tickets, like a couple $100 worth of lottery tickets. And that's one person gets to win that. That's it. And let's see, what else? Oh, hopefully, we were supposed to hear Friday, maybe we'll hear that last year we had a string quartet from Mitchell High School play the music. And so I think they're on board to play again. Of course, which is really great, and we love doing this for the community because it helps them get their community volunteer hours. And they really enjoyed the event last year, and so they would like to do it again this year. So hopefully we can keep them on board for a while, because it's really nice. And the idea of the string quartet came from when Bobby and I got married. We had a string quartet playing down by the lake on our property, and last week was our 31st wedding anniversary. And I came up with the idea last year because our anniversary and the event runs kind of close together. And it turned out really, really nice last year for that. Let's see, am I forgetting anything else for that? Oh, some of the artwork that we have available. Cage, can we go through some of those pieces? This piece here is a large serigraph on canvas. It's hand embellished by the artist. I think it's S. Sam Park. It's like 44 inches by 42 inches. It's already stretched. It's a really nice dimensional piece. I think it's called Venice, of course. And let's see what else we got. That one's a little sideways. It's shown horizontal, but it is vertical. And there's a companion piece to that, too. So we'll get that up on the website properly, and we'll get the companion piece. Now, this piece here, this is really cool because our photographer, he's been our photographer every year since the beginning, Rick Redmond Photography. This is a photograph that he took of one of the stilt houses out in the Gulf. And this is a 24 by 36 inch canvas, and he had put it up on Facebook, and we actually pre-sold one today. I had delivered it before coming down to the studio, so he'll have more of those available also, and we can ship these too. We can ship this artwork. So if you're not, locally here in Pasco County or the Tampa Bay area, we can ship this stuff really easy. I have shipped artwork all over the world. So if you see any of this stuff and you're interested and know that your purchases are going to a good cause, please don't hesitate. Actually, for the gallery, I'm framing a jersey, and I'm getting ready to bill out and figure out what it is for crating and shipping. It's like 32 by 40, and it's going to have glass on it. But I've shipped pieces that big before, so for me, it's not that big of a deal. But it is, because I would rather do it because I know that the items are going to get where they're going safely. So anyway, so those are some of the pieces, and there's another piece. It will not be at the event because I think it weighs I'm guessing about 200 pounds, and it's a sculpture. It's about a little over, I think it's about 38 inches in length and about 2.5 feet tall. Like I said, it weighs about 200 pounds. This piece is available. I don't think we'll ship that because I think it would cost a small fortune. Shipping is a small fortune anyways, but this is a sculpture that friends of mine, Kim and Mitch Romanowski, who are the owners of 9 Round Kickboxing, donated this sculpture, and we have a couple other sculptures and some artwork that they donated also. So we're going to have quite a variety of artwork available. Like I said, this won't be at the event, but it is a piece available. So, and we'll get some more information and pricing up on the website and on our Facebook pages. So I think that kind of wraps up Art for Hope. Of course, I'll probably think of something else as we go on through here, but we're getting really excited for it. This is our 6th annual event, but it's only our 4th one in person because of COVID, but I have really super awesome volunteers that are helping out and helping coordinate and making my job a bit easier. Kim from 9 Round, like I said, they donated that sculpture. She's going to be our MC and actually share her story. I forgot. I was going to ask my sister-in-law today when she picked something up to see if she wants to tell her story too. It's just sharing our stories at this event. It's an uplifting event. It's not sad, even though we're, discussing something that a lot of people really don't like to talk about or even don't like to listen to. But it's, especially with the last 2 guests that I've had, John and Steve Hopper, it's something that does need to be talked about and not be afraid to be talked about. But our event is an uplifting event. It's a fun event. It's awareness, education. The more awareness that we have, the easier it's going to be for people to talk about it. There was a quote, but I can't remember the quote, of course, and I wrote part of it down, but one of the organizations that I've been involved with in the community, we have a lot of community partners, and I've said a lot in the past, we like to partner with others in our community because this issue is so huge and it's so complicated that not one of our organizations or 2 of our organizations or 3 of our organizations are going to be able to tackle this. But that brings me to last week I was on a Zoom meeting. I had missed several throughout the year. We have one of the partners is Central Florida Behavioral Health and Alliance for Healthy Communities, and a part of this, we have an acute care program where we have, I don't know how many, but a lot of organizations, healthcare facilities, us, who try and work together in the community it's almost kind of like a wraparound program so that we can help facilitate a healthy community. I may not be able to support somebody in one way, but I know an organization that's involved with our acute care that I can refer to, and so we know what's going on in the community and who does what and who can help with what, and it really makes a big difference. Like I said, I've missed a lot of calls this year, overlapping meetings, technical issues, but I was able to get on this call, which I was really glad it was. It happened to be the morning of my birthday, which of course is our anniversary. But we had a guest who I know very well, Tara Sullivan from the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. She presented a program, and I just knew I couldn't miss her on there. She she coordinates everything for AFSP for Central and South Florida. So all our events, Out of the Darkness walks, and other programs that they provide. And her program was really, really great. It was really good seeing her, because typically maybe I start seeing her about this time of year, because of course September is national or international or both. I always put them both. Suicide Awareness Month, and so it was kind of the kickoff to that, because then we have October, November, and December. The 3 counties each have a walk. I think Pinellas is in October, Pasco in November 4th, and Hillsborough is typically the first part of December. But anyway, she put on a really good program. Of course, I knew a lot of the information because I've been involved with them for quite a while, but a lot of others on the call hadn't known about this. So it was really great, and it was really good seeing her. And of course, she gets on the call and she's like, "Tammy, isn't it your birthday today?" And I was like, "Yes, Tara, it's my birthday." But she gave a really great program, and I'm going to talk to her and see if we can get her on our show. She's in Orlando, so it'll be via Zoom, but that's how she presented it last week, and it was good. We did have a couple technical difficulties, but everything went off really well. A lot of really great information, and actually I did learn some stuff that I didn't know. And we got some publications. I already got them in the mail that we'll have available at Art for Hope. I should have brought them with me, but I forgot. But anyways, so that was really, really good. And one of the things that is new, and they changed their website up a lot with, I think it's a little bit more user friendly, but they have some videos, and they're really short videos. And I wanted to show one of the videos. It's real short. It's called Living with Suicide Loss. Cage, can we do that?
I'm Alexander Silva. I'm a suicide loss survivor. I lost my friend Jonathan Ivers in 2018 to suicide. He was a Navy veteran who came into my life at a time that I wasn't doing very well. Losing somebody to suicide when you're in the military, I think that we have a lot of expectations on ourselves that we're supposed to be perfect, or we're supposed to be able to cope with anything. It was very weird to think about, how do I respond to somebody who says, "How are you doing with it?" Because, last week I was angry, last week, or the week after that I might feel guilty, the week after that I might not be thinking about it that much. Every single loss is different, every single loss is its own thing. Allow yourself to be where you're at with it, those expectations about how you're supposed to feel. Part of coping and grieving is experiencing that pain and acknowledging and letting other people see that it's okay to hurt sometimes.
So that was the first one I really wanted to show you all. They have, I don't know, there's maybe a half a dozen. So in the coming weeks, we'll bring more to you guys. But in the meantime, you can always go to afsp.org and see what they have available. They also have a program in which I participated in the very not in the very beginning, because I didn't even know about them until, I don't know, we were probably 6 months into this, where you can talk to I guess you would call it a peer, somebody who's gone through the same type of loss as you. And they've kind of extended the program a little bit, because when I was doing it, it was just local volunteers, and you have to go online and fill out a form, and then they have a volunteer contact you. Well, when I did it, they didn't have a volunteer who had suffered the same type of loss as I did, as in the loss of a spouse or a partner. But they still sent, and I agreed to it, they sent a gal to me, and we have since become really good friends. Her name is Teresa Daniels. She lost her 18-year-old, almost 18-year-old son. I think he was just shy of graduating and turning 18, I believe. And I think it's been 8 years, and he was actually also a graduate of Mitchell High School, the string quartet that'll have been and hopefully will be at Art for Hope. But she came up and spoke with me, and we have since, like I said, become good friends. I wouldn't have met her any other way probably, but this year she's actually chairing the Pasco County Out of the Darkness Walk, which I'm really excited for her about. It's all these little things that we do as we progress through this is like little kind of growing spurts for us, and not something that we would imagine that we would have done ever, in the beginning, a year or two, even 3 years out. But so that's another program, and we'll bring more information. Like I said, I want to get Tara on here, and especially with the walks coming up and it being, Suicide Prevention Month. Actually, I think September 10th to the 17th or 18th is International Suicide Prevention Week, and September 10th is Suicide Prevention Day. So it's a busy month, and like I said, gearing up for the walks in the Tampa Bay area. So that was just like a portion of that meeting. So like I said, it's part of the acute care, but they've worked on, and we've done it. We kind of tried to do it in the past when we were first started working on the Purple Folder program, and then it kind of went away. And then with Central Florida Behavioral Health and Alliance for Healthy Communities did I can't even remember what the term would be. I had it in my head when I was doing this earlier today. But anyways, we have like a spin-off little part of it for suicide prevention, and they call it SAFE, which the acronym stands for Suicide Awareness Find Empowerment. And they have the website for the Alliance for Healthy Communities, because I had a hard time finding the website, because I just thought it was safe and we had our own website, but it's actually within the organization. And so we were talking about there's a lot of things going on with trying to even work with, we have Zero Suicide of Pinellas County, and then also another organization that just started up in Hillsborough. It's the Zero Suicide Coalition, I believe, of Hillsborough County. They're brand new. So we've been involved a little bit with the Pinellas County one, and we're partnering up more with them as they're doing more stuff. It's making it a little bit easier now because we can have these meetings when we're all kind of spread out throughout the county or the Bay Area. Do it via Zoom. It makes it a whole lot easier, because otherwise, travel down to Pinellas County, it's at least an hour down and an hour back, and traffic is not fun. But it's again, a bunch of organizations working together to try and reduce our suicide rate. I mean, it just blows my mind. At this meeting, Pasco County Sheriff's Sheriff's Department is involved, and we have a mental health section, and I think there's about 12 deputies that is a part of this mental health unit. So one of the gals who does the meeting representing Pasco County, she gives us the numbers every month on how many suicides we have and breaks them down. And it's a general number. It's not an exact number because they only report for the county. And we have local police, city police department. So we got Newport Richey Police Department, we got Port Richey Police Department, and Dade City Police Department. They all report separately. So it's hard to get real accurate numbers. I mean, it's pretty close. It's close enough because it's bad enough. But and there still may be, within the month span, investigation still going on, or autopsy's not completed. But she reported in July we had 5 suicide deaths. The age range was from 22 to 80 years old. Out of the 5, 1 was a female. I think 3 out of the 5, it was guns, and that's typically the males, and that's what it was for 3 of them. And it just every time you hear it, it's just I don't know. I don't know. On the good part, when I was speaking with the gal from the VA, which we had her on the show not too long ago, because we always hear 22 veteran deaths a day. Well, the VA has been, and organizations for the VA have been working really, really hard, and she reported to us that they have dropped the deaths by suicide for our veterans from 22 to 19. Now, it's not a lot, but it's a lot when you consider still 19 a day are taking their life. And it's, we all know just one is one too many. In Pasco County, our numbers reflect, and usually the people that ask me they're within that age range. One of the males was 22, female was 45, and the other males were in that age range that is high in our community, which the highest reported suicide deaths in Pasco County are white males, 45 to 55 and older. So I think one of the guys was in his 60s, one was 80. I think we had 2 that were around 80. So our, even our senior population, it's that is something that really needs to be addressed too. That I'm not sure that is, but I'm involved in a couple other organizations that do cater. That's not really the right term or a good term, but that's who they help, or that's their thing is mostly the older population in our community. So hopefully we'll now supposedly COVID is over with. So my sister-in-law told me that her and my other sister-in-law just had it again, and I heard so many people that are getting sick again. So hopefully we'll be able to start getting into these communities and speaking. In person, it's always better. That's why we started the show, is because COVID started and we had to stop going out and talking to people and giving them information and helping them try and figure this thing out and learning how to talk about it. So again, that's what, being a part of this Alliance for Healthy Communities and the SAFE program. So you can go to, let's see, let me try here, figure out which one I did. Alliance for Healthy Communities, I think it's empoweredcommunities.org. Their website. Okay, now look at the very, very top where it says donate, and the phone number's on the left. Go all the way over to the right where it says SAFE. That is the Suicide Awareness Find Empowerment page. And I think I have a link for that page next page. I'm not sure. There you go. So that's the page that you'll go to when you click on the SAFE up at the top. And then down within there, I think it's under resources. Yeah, resources for lost survivors. And if you see there under the resources where it says the Bobby White Foundation Purple Folder Program, I was so happy when I saw that. We have worked so hard to try and get people to know that, we are resources for the community. Well, actually, one of the gals on the call that day, I can't remember what organization she was with, and I don't know if it was her family or a family that she knew, and I don't believe it was all that long ago. They had a loss by suicide, and you could hear it in her voice, and just the crackling and just upset that basically they went through what we went through. Trying to find help and to find resources. It broke my heart because I'm like, we're out here, and hopefully if we can get the Pasco Sheriff's Department to work with us a little bit more, so that we can, reach out to some people. But, it's hard for me because sometimes it has to go both ways. I can't just, though sometimes I would like to, just go to the person and say, hey, I know what you're going through. Here's some help. Here's some resources. But a lot of times they need to be referred to us. And sometimes they're just not ready. We still deal with the stigma, and the loss is so devastating, and not knowing, how to navigate it. And I feel it personally when I go out and talk, and it's not so much when I'm going to talk or give a program, but more so when I'm out in the community and we at networking meetings, and we talk about what we do, and And I know, I mean, I feel it. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. That, you know, and it's not all people, but some people, it's, they don't want to hear it. It's like, oh God, here's Tammy again. She's talking about suicide, you know, and I don't want to be the, you know, the Debbie Downer of the group, but then I still want the people to have the information and the education and the awareness. And so sometimes it's really kind of hard for me to grapple with how much to say. And a lot of times, unless it's this time of year when we're getting ready for the fundraiser, I'll just say, you know, I'm Tammy White, owner of Tammy White Galleries and founder of the Bobby White Foundation, and leave it at that, because a lot of people know. And if there's somebody else in the group that doesn't know me or doesn't know the foundation, there's plenty in the group that can, you know, can tell them. And of course, you know, they can come up to me. I'm easy to come up and talk to, although somebody said, John said last week, or that, and I've had, you know, a couple other people say that I was standoffish, or, you know, stuck up, or, you know, but it's not. I'm shy unless you really get to know me. So, and then when you really get to know me, they tell them, then look out. But, you know, it's all good. I am shy. I'm an introvert. Me doing this today and doing this by myself, well, I'm not doing it by myself. Thankfully, I have Cage back there, who is a great support. So, but yeah, this is going way, way out of my comfort zone. Number one, I never thought I would have started a foundation to help anybody, let alone lost survivors, or, you know, our Art for Hope fundraiser, going out and talking to people and sharing my story, which, you know, like I said, I was just beginning to do that at the beginning of 2020. I had four organizations that I spoke to, and March 13th, spoke to Holiday Rotary, and the next day we were shut down. So that ended my speaking career for a while, until I finally agreed with John to do this show, which has been good. I mean, at least I can still, and that's why we did it, so that we can still share the information with you. And even though we, you know, can't be face to face, but it gives us a, you know, more of a reach. I can still do the, you know, stuff in the community, and yet we can still do this show and reach a whole lot more people. And it gives me a whole lot more practice to go out and speak more. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm really excited with what's happening within our community. And we'll have, like I said, we'll have Tara Sullivan on from AFSP, and of course Teresa, who is chairing the Pasco Walk, and we'll see what we can do about maybe even getting all the chairs for the Tampa Bay walks on here, and share some of the stories and share some of the photos and from that. They also do, and I can't remember, I think it's in the spring, but one of the universities in Tampa Bay, I think it might, I don't know if I should, yeah, I think it was USF, has a campus walk. And, you know, these walks happen all over the country. So, no, you know, wherever you're at in the country, because they have, what do you call it, chapters in all 50 states. And so when you go to their website, the afsp.org website, you can look up your state and see where there's a chapter closest to you, and when they have walks scheduled. There's one walk a year that is a literally out of the darkness walk. It's an overnight walk, and I think it's held in Texas. I'll have to do some looking and see when that one actually is. But it's a much longer walk than the campus walks or your local walk would be. Our walk is really super nice because it's down at Sims Park, and it goes through the park and along the Cody River, and it's a real nice walk. It's a real nice park. The city has done a lot to make that park really super nice. So, and we'll be there. The foundation will be there. I may have to have some help because I think I'm in the MC for that event this year. It's you got to be careful of what you ask for. Last year I had mentioned that we needed somebody to represent the community as far as the losses of older people. That sounds awful. But it is. In our community, we always have the children and the teenagers represented. And but it's kind of funny because lately, and it's mostly guys that have come up to me and ask me questions about the foundation or share their story when they hear a part of my story. And when they ask me about what's the age group or who has the highest losses in our population, and lately it's those guys that are asking me, and I'm just like, it's actually somebody exactly like you, and inevitably they have experienced a loss by suicide, whether it be a friend or a roommate, family members. So, and then when I share them, Bobby was 62 when he took his life, and he's right in that age group, and within our community. But it's it's hard, but we're all here, trying to do a good thing. And I also wanted to mention too, we have another organization in our community called Ian's Way, and August was the anniversary of Ian's death, and he was 16 years old. I believe it's been 4 years since Ian passed, and his mother and grandmother started Ian's Way for teen suicide prevention in our community. And I've shared this information before, and we do have the information and extra information in our purple folders, but they do counseling every other Monday. I can't remember which Mondays it is, and make sure that they're still doing it. But they were doing it via Zoom. Actually, my former co-host Bonnie is the facilitator of that, and it's so, like I said, it's via Zoom, so you can attend from around the world, and it's just a safe place for teens to be able to go and talk. And we're coming up with there's more support. There's very few support groups. In Pasco, we don't have any that are specific to suicide. Pinellas County through, I think it is through Zero Suicide, Pinellas County. They have one that meets once a month. And we'll make sure that we update that information, especially now with the month that we're in, even though it's highlighted during September. But this, as with all issues that are highlighted during their special month, it's a year-round thing. It's just gets more highlighted and promoted, or during these months. And what else did I want to? Oh, besides the walk for Pasco, which is November 3rd, and this is nationally, the Thursday before Thanksgiving every year is Suicide Loss Survivors Day. So that's another thing that we'll keep you up to date on, as far as how to see what's going on or what could be going on in your community. We don't have the details of ours yet. Last year, they had one meeting, one presentation down in Pinellas County for all of Tampa Bay. Prior to that, of course, it was via Zoom, which kind of made it easier, at least for the whole Bay Area, to participate in. But Tara said that they're still working on the details of how Lost Survivors Day is going to look this year. I'm hoping that we can have programs at least in every county, so it's easier, for those of us who don't really want to drive home from Pinellas County in the dark, or have it earlier in the day. Just make it easier for people to get to. And a lot of people don't know that is available. We try and get it out into our community a little bit more. And again, it's surprising with the number of losses, the number of people who don't attend something like this. But everybody handles their grief differently, and this is just a really hard one, a different grief. And so everybody you have to do what's good for you, because in the end, after this, the most important thing to do is to take care of yourself, and that is probably the hardest thing to do, is to take care of yourself. I know from experience. Almost 7.5 years into it, it's gotten a little, I can't say it hasn't gotten better. It's gotten a little bit better, but I still have my times. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning of a panic attack and have to breathe deep. I've learned this new well, it's not a new breathing exercise, but I've tried this a lot recently. When I start getting into my bad zone, is you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, I'm not counting right, and then breathe out through your mouth for 8 seconds, real slow, and do it 3 times in a row. And I did it yesterday, I think yesterday morning and this morning, and it really helped to calm me down and to stop my brain from just spinning with all these things that I have to do. And I think about stuff like, oh, well, you need to ask this person this, and we're getting ready, for Art for Hope, we got to do this, or for the foundation, don't forget to go do this. And I mean, everybody has it. It's just a different, different thoughts and different thought processes. But that's what happens to me. If I could just get through that 4 to 6 period without either waking myself up or my cat's waking me up. And lately it's been me waking up and trying to not move so that I don't wake the cats up, because once they're up, then they want to eat. And then it's pretty much all over. Well, not really, because then they'll get their tummies full and then they'll have a morning nap like at 6:30 in the morning. But anyways, so again, don't forget Art for Hope coming up. We're even considering, depending if we have any artwork left, having a post sale of what we may have available. Hopefully it just all sells out. We have a ton of it. But so September 7th, 6 to 9 at the Hilton Garden Inn. And don't forget to put these phone numbers in your phone. Have them available. Now, the 988 is easy to remember, and it's a call or text. Veterans press 1 on either the 800 number or the 988 number. I always have these available, have them in my phone. Whenever I go speak, I have people put them in their phone. And so our quote for today that we will leave you with: struggle with why it happened until you no longer need to know why, or until you are satisfied with partial answers, because we'll never know why in most cases. And remember, there's always hope. Thank you.